There is an issue that I just wanted to make a little quick video about that a lot of people haven't it's not on their radar, but it's really, really sad. Um, Recently a law was passed that outlawed certain animal abuses that it's kind of crazy that the government actually has to spell it out that it's, illegal, but at least this type of animal cruelty has been outlawed, and it's crushing where videos where people actually have a fetish. That means they get sexual pleasure from watching an animal, usually a small animal, get crushed to death or burned, tortured. And it's kind of becoming a little bit of a pornography thing. And not quite as bad, but also pretty horrific as bestiality. The demand for these types of content is increasing as I feel like mental illness is becoming much more widespread. And the factors that come into play with the genetics, the environment, and culture of abuse that's generational, that kind of feeds the cycle and expands and grows it until it gets to the point where it's so pervasive that it's really, really disturbing. Like, if we were able to see into the secret cravings and fetishes of the average person, I think that they'd be more depraved than a lot of people would be willing to admit, because those of us who don't have those fetishes, we can't really comprehend getting sexual pleasure from that. But I've been enough, I guess, exposed to it that I know that it's an issue. And the dogs that used to be at risk for being used in dog fighting are now, the risks are even higher because they can be used in all these other tortures as well. And so if they're not aggressive, they don't excel in dog fighting, maybe they have a certain look that people really tend to like watching. And I would imagine it's the curvier, like, bully breeds that would be prone to sexualization, as well as some of the more, bigger mastiffs. I can't imagine like greyhounds and certain dogs being considered sexy. You see sexy kind of used as a word that's descriptive of certain traits in a car or similarly in a dog. And that just really, really worries me, because the one breed that I feel like has been misbred, poorly bred more than any other breed is the bully. And I say the bully, but there are many bully types. And a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't know this, but there's like, I don't know how many. Depends on how specific you get, but you go from all the way down to the French bulldog, to the English bulldog. Old English bulldog gets a little bigger. Then you have American bulldogs and American pit bull terriers, Staffordshire bull terriers. What else? And American bullies come in, the pocket and the exotic and the standard and the extra large. There's just quite large. So oftentimes people call them pit bulls, but that's actually not the correct term. The correct term to categorize all those types of dogs are calling them bullies. And it's very fascinating to just look at that word bully. It came from the word bull. These dogs were used in bull baiting, blood sports. And but bully is a word that, doesn't have positive connotations. And the American bully is the breed that they are specifically trying to breed away from aggression, whereas it's allowable in the other breeds in the standard. It's really much more discouraged in the American Bully, but unfortunately, it's not something that that they have really gotten successful as far as dog aggression and stranger aggression. I'm not referring to aggression towards their handler. Bullies have one of the lowest risks of aggression towards their handler because they are bred to be specifically extremely tolerant of abuse from their handler without turning on their handler. If you think of dog fighting, like how would those people be able to keep these dogs if the dogs would turn and attack them? So these dogs were actually selectively bred to be quite tolerant of abuse, which also makes them prone to abuse because they're so easily brought into submission from a very dominant, abusive personality. And they just kind of submit to that, and they continue to love and adore their handler almost despite all reason to do so. And so, yeah, I'm really concerned about the bullies. I really think there needs to be more legislation to protect that particular breed instead of what is currently happening is there are breed-specific laws that outlaw the breed in certain areas. Like they can actually be, your perfectly mannered pet can be confiscated and put down without cause in certain states and cities. I've not done the research, but I have heard stories about that happening, and it's, oh, that would be so devastating. So there's a lot of prejudice against the breed, but it's all because of the breeders, the ones who aren't breeding away from aggression, that are continuing to breed aggressive dogs, are causing this problem. And yeah, I just wish there were laws that were in place that could protect the dog, because they're never going to do the right thing for ethical reasons. It will only be a threat of, losing their income from their business, that and fines and fees from the government that could, or if their dogs were confiscated, people would be, well, a lot more people would go underground, but plenty of people would be deterred from their activities just because the risk is too high. Sometimes they'll just gravitate towards the easiest entry type of crime instead of, one that could end up costing them quite a bit. So anyone who reaches out to me and has ideas about helping to write legislation, I've got a good outline for a proposal, but I don't have enough time to research representatives who might be willing to sponsor. It's something I kind of started, a project I started. I got a little ways, and then I realized I just don't have the time for that, or the passion, I think, to get involved in politics. I don't have a very positive view of politics. So yeah, if anyone watching this is interested in getting involved, I would pass on whatever I have to pass the torch for anyone to take up. That would be pretty awesome. Thanks.